It increases brain temperature, causes disruption of working memory, resulting in disorientation. Every single human can be affected and is affected by this microwave frequency. Every single one. The inability to consolidate working memory. People are feeling buzzing and ticking in their ears. The sound is very disorientating. This is what was intended by the military against our foe, was to disorientate the enemy. You hear noises behind your ear. People are becoming psychologically challenged, emotionally being drugged down when they go to the doctor to put them out of their misery. No one is understanding the frequency of salt in our community. These microwave pulsations go many, many distances. They travel distances. There's loss of consciousness, and the frequency is modulated. This is important to remember. The frequencies are modulated. They pulsate. They can be increased. They can be turned up in your home like a thermostat. It affects everything about you, every single thing. Again, these frequencies are used for targeting total groups of people, not just individuals in your home, but total groups. It's persistent, it's pervasive. Low-frequency humming sounds are causing many people from all over the world not to sleep. Without sleep, your immune system is less effective. You become sick. These people are sleep deprived. Areas in the world are England and Russia, New Mexico, New Zealand, and the list goes on. From compliments of the New York Rockefeller's University, they're now telling us that radio waves are ideal for remote human cell manipulation. Remotely, they are manipulating our cells. They're talking about the ability to modify our behavior, our genes, without ever needing to cut inside of us. No bleeding, no wounds, freedom. They talk about the frequency attack upon the people in Iraq right now. There are plastic devices called poppers. Poppers are small domes. They are hidden in communities in Iraq by Iraqis or people working for our government that really may or may not know what these devices do. They're transmitted. They're transmissions. They are activated offshore by our U.S. Navy. They have distances of a half a mile. These frequencies go through concrete, go through metal, and go through our skull. The Iraqi people are unaware of the silent, invisible war being waged upon them. The benefit of doing this to them and targeting them is they lose all their incentive for further resistance and revenge. Think about that. They lose all incentive in resistance for revenge. This is a symptoms list that has been compiled by thousands of scientific doctors and research. Again, this list is long. It is the same thing you see in the military documents. We have now collaborated that with scientists across the world and in the United States. Confusion, memory loss, loss of focus, dementia, Alzheimer's, headache, pulsating, heart palpitation, seizures, nervousness. The list goes on. For those of you that have amalgam dental fillings, get them out. You were not told. These frequencies cause the vapor of mercury to leach out of your fillings into your brain. So if you have friends that have amalgams, or you have amalgams, get them removed. Get this list. Look at this list. On the other side, we have things you can do that help you. This is a list of the this is a compiling of a friend that lives in Southern California who did several months of comparison of their costs for the smart meter billing and found that it was a 50% increase. Now I want to remind you, this is only with the smart meter devices on the building. They have not yet forced us to purchase RFID chipped appliances. Once this forced RFID chipped appliance program is mandated, and it will be, our costs are going to exponentially skyrocket. Don't I remember somebody saying our utility costs will exponentially skyrocket? This is the Division of Ratepayer Advocacy in the state of California. This is a legislative group that was put in place in between the consumer, the utility company, and the Public Utility Commission. They advocate for cost for us. They reviewed the Southern California Edison's Smart Connect cost savings program for us, the customers, and found no cost savings benefit. Found no cost savings benefit. This is a group, it's called IEEE. The name of it is the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. It's important for us to know this because they went to our White House and advocated safety standards for the United States. This group is sponsored and funded by the U.S. Department of Energy, the World Bank, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, Yahoo, IBM, NASA, and the list goes on. They advocated for the level of safe frequencies that the United States was able to have. The United States is one of several countries, nations in the world that has the highest level of allowable frequencies for us. Russia won't allow this level of frequency in Russia. This is a global-wide area of monitoring. They tell us in their own documents, in their own words, this is rationing. This is restricting of consumption. This is total control. Rationing will be forced upon us. There will be intermittent supply resources that will change more frequently. They're going to access our ability to have electricity when they choose. They say that the politicians are afraid to tell us that the cost is more than we possibly know. They don't even know what the cost of this global grid is going to be. But it's going to be very expensive. But they're certain that we're going to accept it because we want a sustainable environment. We want green. This is what these groups are saying. We want green. And because we do, we're going to accept costs that they don't even know where it's going. They also tell us that this smart grid is one of the biggest changes that we're going to see in our entire lifetime. That wasn't back there in that PG&E Act. I think we would have wanted to know just to what degree our lives were going to be changed forever. I think we would have wanted to know. They're telling us also there's no single problem larger than standardizing this grid. Essentially, this grid will know no borders. They will connect and cross borders. They will have outside public displays on the outside of some buildings, so all of your neighbors will be able to see your energy consumption and disgrace you and shame you into lowering your use because you are tipping the earth upside down and causing global warming. This is an infrastructure, and it was only planned to last 20 years. An amount of money, we don't know how much it's going to cost, and it's going to be obsolete in 20 years. They assume that we're going to pay for this, as I had mentioned, and this is going to be one of the biggest issues are agreeing to accept it. They need to have our compliance. There's conversation about California and other states that are not being compliant. There are concerns also, they say, that we have concerns that our utilities are trying to control us, you think? They also say that this is shifting us into renewables, solar and wind. They're not telling us that because of the unreliability of solar and wind, they're also going to have as standby nuclear energy. They have not told us this.
All right. I am out of here, folks. We're relocating. We're trying to move around. We're trying to do some things. We got some groups here that we'll be working with. We need a few donations. I got to be able to get a truck, rent a truck to do some things in, and I need your help. Clay@freeamerican.com. I appreciate any help that we can get. You've been listening to Deborah Tavares, who's been on my show before. This was a film that she made, telling you to refuse those smart meters and letting you know that this global control is coming. Thank you for listening. Clay@freeamerican.com, freeamerican.com. Thank you.
Part of the global plan. But also it's important to know, as many of you do, they control the weather. So you give renewables, solar and wind, and they control the weather. Think of that. They're going to control the renewables that they say they want us and are forcing us to have. They say that eventually we're going to want to know and we're going to need to know how much it's going to cost us to roast a chicken in our oven compared to how much it's going to cost us to cook a chicken in the pan. It's going to be that expensive that is going to matter to us. This is a map of the Wildlands Project. This is a map showing that half of the United States is going to be off limits to humans. The reason I am showing this map in the context of this grid is there is going to be nowhere for the sensitive to flee to. There are going to be no safe havens in remote rural areas. Rural areas are sprawled, unsustainable, not doable. They are taking our property away and maneuvering us into human settlement zones where the increased radiation and pulse-based frequencies are going to injure, damage, and kill us that much more quickly. I urge all of you to take a look at this map. Again, this is planned obsolescence, planned termination of this grid that is intending to collapse our pocketbooks, our economy. Also beware, you're going to get advertisements in the mail, and I fondly call this when a smart appliance spying, radiating program now has been launched. These are the RFID chips, and they now are advocating this as a crime. You can contact your utility company and possibly win an RFID chip appliance. These are out now, they're available now. Don't take it as a gift. This is spying, this is radiating, this is watching you, this is a camera. This is what the chip looks like that will be in the appliances. The CIA admits that we will be spied upon. The CIA director, Petraeus, said they will no longer need spies. Bugs are planted in our homes. We are putting them there. We don't want these there. We are not wanting these spies in our homes. This is the global chipping. This is going to start next March of 2013. This is part of the grid spy network. Know what we are getting geared and herded into. Also, we are having our paper currency collapse into a carbon currency. The success of technocracy requires that our economic system be based on energy accounting instead of price accounting. You will get certificates, and you will redeem these certificates. If you do not use your allotted energy, you lose it. This is the grid. This is the spy data collecting center that's being built right now in Bluffdale, Utah. This is being designed. This is the CIA Petraeus said it will spy on us, and it will collect data and harvest it and store it and take photographs of us through our dishwasher and our refrigerator. This is in Wired magazine. We know it's going to spy. This is over 1 million square feet. One of the former employees from NSA said, he gave a thumbs up. He said, we are this far from a turnkey totalitarian state. They know it. Everybody's a target. Every single person. They're going to smash us to smithereens. This is what this means. But we can stop it. This is a group now that has been officially launched. This is called the Global Smart Grid Federation. It's an international smart grid action group. The purpose of this group is to tell governments how they can force these meters on us, how the government can punish us and force these meters. Take a look at this. This is how they're going to stealthily try to convince you that these meters are good for you. They're advantaging you. I want to tell you, we cannot hide behind closed doors. Closed doors won't protect us or give us privacy anymore. The radiation will travel through the doors, and we will be spied. The world is a dangerous place.